Okay, imagine this for a moment. You're running, say, a bustling sports bar. Picture it, maybe a dozen TVs, maybe even more, right? Each one's showing something different: games, highlights, news.
Hmm.
Now imagine trying to control all that with like a whole pile of individual Firestick remotes, just the constant juggling, figuring out which remote goes where, the pairing headaches,
Yeah,
and the sheer chaos when someone asks you to change the channel, like right now. It's not just annoying, it's a real logistical nightmare. Pulls staff away from, actually serving people. Okay, let's unpack this. Today, we're diving into what looks like a fascinating solution to that exact problem. It's called the WolfPad Multiple Firestick Tablet Control System.
that's right.
Our mission here is really to cut through the tech talk and see how this system promises to, well, change the game for businesses, maybe even some really decked out homes managing all these screens.
Exactly. And for this deep dive, our sources are basically direct excerpts from the WolfPad product page. So we're getting the info straight from them, an inside look at the design, the features, what it's supposed to do.
Right.
We're aiming to boil it down, help you understand how this one system tries to simplify these, complex multi-screen setups, especially the ones using Amazon Firesticks.
So starting right there, the Fire Sticks themselves. What is it about their basic design, as consumer gadgets that makes them kind of a bad fit for these bigger commercial setups?
Well, that's a really crucial point.
Yeah.
It's fascinating how a design that works perfectly fine for one person at home just doesn't scale well commercially.
Yeah.
Each Fire Stick is basically its own little island, right? Meant for one user, one remote.
Yeah.
That pairing thing's simple enough for your living room TV,
Sure.
but when you've got 10, 20 of them, now you're constantly hunting for the right remote. They get lost. Staff wastes tons of time just trying to change a channel instead of, taking orders or pouring
Like
drinks.
focusing on customers.
Exactly. So this system, the WolfPad, it targets that specific friction point. It understands that individual convenience turns into a massive headache when you multiply it.
That makes total sense. Consumer convenience becoming a commercial nightmare. Okay, so how does the WolfPad actually, step in and fix this multi-remote mess?
So the core idea, looking big picture, is pretty clever. They basically bypass the individual Firestick remotes completely.
Okay.
The WolfPad is a tablet-based system. The description calls it an app, graphic, and hardware designed to easily control and route multiple Firestick HDMI signals to multiple TVs.
Huh.
And how they do it is key. They use an IR adapter that's infrared, like your old TV remote, a little receiver, on each Firestick.
On every single one.
Yep. And those adapters talk to their main centralized IR control system. So the original Firestick remotes, you just don't use them for control anymore.
Ah, got it.
It solves that whole pairing problem right from the start and gives you one central place to control everything.
Okay, so what does that actually mean for the person using it? The product page boasts some pretty big numbers. It supports up to 24 Fire Stick and 36 TVs. I mean, that's a lot of screens and sources.
It is.
Just thinking about managing 24 separate Fire Stick remotes without something like this.
Yeah, that's mind-boggling.
And that immediately brings up scalability, right? And flexibility. The page mentions any into any out capability. That's really crucial.
Explain that a bit. Any in to any out.
Sure. So think of an HDMI matrix switch, which this system controls as like the traffic controller for your video signals. You've got all your inputs, in this case, up to 24 Fire Sticks.
Okay.
And all your outputs, up to 36 TVs. Any in to any out means you can take the video from any of those Fire Sticks and send it to any single TV or any group of TVs, totally independently.
Ah, okay.
So back to that sports bar example. On a busy night, someone wants the hockey game on screen 5. Done. Someone else wants soccer on screen 12. Done. New group walks in, wants boxing on that empty TV by the dartboard.
The bartender can literally just tap on the tablet and make it happen in seconds. Without leaving the bar, without searching for remotes, it completely changes how you can manage content across lots of screens.
And the beauty of it, as they say, is controlling it all from any tablet, iPad, Fire tablet, Android, whatever. You don't need to go to the closet or rack where all the Fire Sticks are hidden away.
Exactly.
For busy staff, that convenience factor seems absolutely huge.
It really is. And a key thing to take away here is how simple they've tried to keep the purpose. This system is designed for one main job. Control your WolfPad HDMI matrix system using a tablet.
Right.
That's a big differentiator. They explicitly say it's unlike other control systems that require extensive installer knowledge and configuration.
Mm.
It's not trying to be this super customizable do-everything system.
Mm-hmm.
It's focused on doing one specific, really common control task and doing it well.
And what really jumped out at me was who they say it's designed for. It's not aimed at IT pros. It explicitly says it's for places with multiple Firesticks where it'll be used by people whose technical knowledge. Yeah.
They list examples like sports bar owners, waitresses, hostesses, bartenders, even DJs. It's for the frontline staff.
And that focus on ease of use for non-technical folks, that's a powerful insight into where commercial AV is going, I think.
How so?
Well, it shows this understanding that even the most advanced tech is kind of useless if the people who actually need to use it every day can't figure it out easily.
Right. Dixon.
The promise they make is that a sports bar owner will never be called at home and asked how you control the matrix. Think about that. That directly impacts employee morale, reduces stress.
Yeah, fewer frantic phone calls.
Exactly. It lets managers focus on the business, not on being tech support. It really is about empowering the staff on the floor to handle what seems like a complex AV system, but without needing, an IT degree. We're seeing that shift in a lot of areas. So, putting sophisticated control into simple hands. And the places it could be used are super broad. They list sports bars, restaurants, bowling alleys, casinos, country clubs, gyms, sports arenas, sports training facilities, and more. Basically, anywhere with lots of screens needing simple, solid control.
Okay, let's talk about actually using it. The interaction, the description makes it sound really straightforward. It says, using the system is straightforward as all functions are handled on the single screen illustrated here. They seem really keen on that single screen idea.
Yeah, the interface seems designed for, instant understanding. You open the app, you see the layout, you pick the Fire Stick you want to control, say FireStick 3.
Okay.
That source button turns gray, its name pops up. Then over on the right, you see buttons for your TVs. The ones currently showing FireStick 3 are highlighted, maybe gray.
Gotcha.
Want to send FireStick 3 to TV 10? Just tap the TV 10 button, it connects. Want to disconnect TV 5? Tap its gray button. And here's a clever bit, they mention the undo function.
If you tap a gray TV button, one that's already connected, it doesn't just disconnect. It sends that TV back to whatever source it was showing before.
Ah, that's smart. Prevents accidental blank screens.
Exactly. Minimizes mistakes during a busy shift. And then, on the left side of the screen, you've got buttons that look just like a standard FireStick remote arrows. Select, home, back.
So familiar controls.
Right. Anyone who's used a FireStick will instantly get how to navigate. It all seems very intuitive, which fits perfectly with targeting non-technical users.
Yeah.
Minimal learning curve, fewer errors.
Okay, this deep dive wouldn't be complete if we didn't peek under the hood a bit. What hardware actually makes this work? The list includes one proprietary control code. Okay, software.interfacing to a WolfPad HDMI matrix switch, a 6-foot RS-232 cable.
Standard connection cable.
And this is interesting, a modified, pre-owned Crestron rack mount controller with an AC adapter. Plus, up to 16 IR cables for IR control of multiple Roku that were focused on FireStick. And it mentions a cloud-based customizer.
Okay, that component list is really revealing. The key takeaway there is the strategic choice of that modified, pre-owned Crestron control.
Why pre-owned?
Well, Crestron gear is known for being super robust, American-built, kind of the gold standard in high-end control systems, but it's also typically very expensive new.
Right.
So by using pre-owned units, which they say might have minor cosmetic flaws but function perfectly, they can leverage that really solid, reliable enterprise hardware.
But at a much lower cost.
Exactly. It's a smart engineering and business move. It makes this kind of high-end control accessible to businesses that probably couldn't afford a brand new Crestron system. They explicitly state it offers a dramatic lowering of cost compared to computing systems that cost as high as $10,000. This one comes in at $2,000.
Well, that's a huge difference.
It really is. It's about delivering that pro-level function at a much more reachable price. And they back it up. The hardware comes with a 5-year warranty. That shows confidence in the reliability, even using pre-owned core components.
And TAA compliant? What's that?
TAA compliant means it meets the requirements of the Trade Agreements Act. Basically, it certifies the country of origin, which is important for U.S. government purchases and some corporate contracts. It's another mark of sort of legitimacy and quality control.
Okay. And beyond the tech itself, the whole buying process sounds pretty painless, too. They offer free shipping, 60-day returns, free return label, and no restocking fee.
Yeah.
That seems designed to take a lot of the risk and pressure off, especially for a business owner trying out a new system like this.
Absolutely. That kind of transparency, no hidden charges on the return, that builds trust. And it connects to another really important point they make about cost.
Which is?
No monthly or yearly fees. No license or subscription fees.
That's huge these days.
Isn't it? We live in a world where everything seems to be moving to a subscription model. For a business trying to manage budgets, knowing this is a one-time purchase with no recurring costs, that's a massive draw.
Yeah, predictable expenses, no surprises down the line.
It's a really strong value proposition, differentiating them in the market.
So no hidden costs lurking. That's
Yeah.
refreshing. Okay, we also dug into the Q&A section on their page and found some important details, some potential gotchas maybe.
Right.
For instance, if you're thinking, great, multiple staff can use tablets, hold on. They state it's a single-user system, meaning if one person is using an iPad to control things, they could potentially interfere with someone else trying to use another tablet at the exact same moment.
Yeah, you can't have two people actively making changes simultaneously. Although they do note you can see what the first user is doing, so you can at least avoid stepping on each other's toes.
So maybe not a deal breaker, but something to be aware of.
And that limitation, the single-user thing, it might actually be a deliberate design choice, you know?
How do you mean?
Well, thinking about their target user, a busy bartender. A waitress maybe having only one point of active control at a time is actually simpler and leads to fewer errors than a complex system allowing multiple simultaneous users. It prioritizes stability and ease of use over concurrent access, which might be the right trade-off for these environments.
That's a fair point. What else from the Q&A?
Programming. For smaller setups, the control program lives right inside the controller. The CP2E they mentioned, and gets loaded via an app. But for bigger multi-page systems, it sounds like they need to load the tablet remotely using their cloud-based customizer.
Okay, so that customizer thing allows remote setup and tweaking.
Seems like it, which is great for flexibility and support. They also mention you need to provide them with your input label numbers like FireStick 1, Lobby TV, and the model numbers of the IR devices you're controlling during setup.
Makes sense. They need to program it for your specific gear.
Right. And for getting the tablet itself configured, you've got options. Either physically send your tablet to them, or interestingly, buy the controller at this webpage to do it remotely yourself.
Okay, options for setup. Good to know. And it's also worth remembering, this Firesticks system isn't just a one-off product, right? It's part of a bigger picture.
Exactly. They mention being part of a larger family of WolfPad products. They have similar tablet control systems for DirecTV receivers, DIHH boxes, cable boxes.
So covering all the typical video sources in these places?
Precisely. Some systems even integrate floor plans, which is pretty sophisticated. It suggests that the company behind it, HDTV Supply Inc., who've apparently been around for 24 years, have built this whole comprehensive platform.
Right.
A platform designed to simplify AV control across lots of different sources. So the FireStick system isn't just an isolated solution. It's one piece of a bigger ecosystem addressing that common pain point of complex controls in commercial video setups.
Okay, so wrapping this up, what does this all mean for you, the listener? Well, the WolfPad multiple Firestick tablet control system seems like a really compelling answer to a very specific, very annoying problem. It simplifies that chaos of managing tons of Firesticks across lots of screens. It looks like a smart mix of repurposing reliable hardware and designing really intuitive software.
Yeah, and it's aimed squarely at making life easier for the non-technical folks who actually have to use it day in, day out in pretty demanding places, turning that logistical headache into just a smooth operation.
Right.
And maybe this raises a question for you to think about. Where in your own life, maybe at home, maybe at work, are you still wrestling with like a tangled mess of remotes or systems that are just too complicated?
Yeah, good question.
What other everyday tech could be unified, simplified, and make things way more efficient, less frustrating?
Definitely something to ponder. Thanks for diving deep with us today on the WolfPad system.
Always interesting to explore these solutions.
Until next time, keep looking for those aha moments, those clever fixes hiding in plain sight.